Celia, welcome to Tarot Time. Today I'm going to do a reading about Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit. They have made a lawsuit against Universal Music Group, UMG, because UMG never paid them any royalties, ever. Limp Bizkit sold over 50 million records and has, believe it or not, 15 million Spotify listeners a month. I mean, okay, they were really popular, Limp Bizkit, from like 97 to 2004 was like their peak. And they broke records. They were like top of their game. It was really crazy, like going out dancing at a club, dance club in like 99, 2000. And there's like dance music, but then they throw in this rock. There was such a resurgence of like pop, rock star. It wasn't necessarily like the best rock. A lot of people think it's like the end of rock, which I'm not going to get into in this reading. But yeah, you'd be out dancing, listening to dance music, and then suddenly it would be Limp Bizkit, and everybody would go freaking crazy. Like, that's how popular it was. So there's this thing where a record company basically like invests in you, and it's like they give you an advance, or I don't know what it's called, but basically it's like they spend money promoting you, making your albums, and then after you reach a certain amount of albums sold or money created for the record company, then you have paid off your advancement or investment, I can't remember what it's called, and then you can start making money. Universal said that Limp Bizkit had never made that money, and then Fred Durst kept looking into it legally and asking for information, and Universal Music Group was like, we don't know where you're at with your account. We don't know. But we can tell you that you're nowhere near having made enough money for us to pay you yet. And then he's like, well, how do you know? Give me the accounting. Can't you see money in, money out, and then give me the difference? Yeah, Universal Music Group denied that Limp Bizkit had made enough money to get a royalty yet. Fred Durst got another lawyer, and they issued another request. And at that request, UMG discovered that Limp Bizkit actually did meet their recouping fees, or whatever. And now they actually had $1 million that should be paid out to Limp Bizkit that they forgot about. They failed to disclose it to them. They said they made an accounting mistake, and they released the money to Fred Durst. So this brings up significant questions about Universal Music Group's accounting. The lawyers asking for accounting information led to UMG saying that, well, we kept really poor records from 1997 to 2004, which happened to be the height of Limp Bizkit's career. And they're not exactly sure how much money that they got in and how much money went out. So the lawsuit is that Fred Durst is suing Universal Music Group for copyright infringement for $200 million. And there's something where I think more artists might be involved, but I'm not exactly sure. I just heard that more artists are involved, but I never heard anything more about that, like how, or who are the other groups that are with Fred Durst, or is this just, I don't know. So I just want to look at what's going on there. And you have to consider that the CEO of Universal Music Group in the year 2023 made $128 million in 1 year. Some people speculate that if Universal Music Group had to pay royalties, that they should, that they would be out of business. They would have to sundown their company. They would be in bankruptcy because that's how much money they have stolen. Okay, so I want to look at, okay, let me think about, what do I want to look at here? I want to look at what is happening at Universal Music Group. Okay, I want to do Housewives Tarot. I want to look at what's happening at Universal Music Group. What is up with their accounting and paying artists? Like, what is their position in compensating artists? Like, what is the energy of them? And yeah, 3 cards underneath, and we'll start from there. And then I'll look at the nature of the lawsuit, like, is it gonna go through? Is it gonna change anything? Ooh, it's having a hard time shuffling. So at first I was kind of annoyed about this reading because, I don't know, like, seriously, no offense, but like, Fred Durst it was kind of like a joke, you know? But it turns out, in like reading comments, in different videos doing research for this, people are like, turns out Limp Bizkit is more awesome than we thought, and it turns out that like Rage Against the Machine is just like a corporate shill. I don't really know what Rage Against the Machine did to be a corporate shill. No idea. But a lot of people seem to agree, so they must have done something to like sell out or be complacent. I don't really know. So here is Universal Music Group against their artists. They want to stop artists from getting forward, from moving ahead. Yeah, they really are keeping them down, is what I heard. Okay, and then what's their energy about that? 2 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords, the Star, reversed. Ooh, it's like keeping their celebrity for themselves, not giving the artists what they deserve, not giving them their star power. It's like kind of part of a manipulation tactic, is how I feel. It's like kind of punitive. The 9 of Swords, this like elderly woman with a knife pointing down. 2 of Pentacles, being torn between 2 choices, having to balance a lot. To me, this kind of reminds me of their just accounting principles in general. The 9 of Swords is making me think that they have a lot of anxiety about what they have to give away. And so they diminish the star power and keep things unclear, to keep artists kind of tied to them. 9 of Cups, the Moon, Ace of Wands. I still hear this is them with the artists. So they make it seem like you're getting everything you could possibly want, but it's very deceptive. It's like what you are not seeing behind the scenes. So I think the labels are using some really classic techniques. I feel like I just heard cut and paste, like they just do this. They have done it for a long time. They have done it to just about anybody. And they make it seem like you're getting your heart's desires, like like you've just won the lottery, like you're getting $1 million. And it's a new creative beginning, and you feel excited about what comes. You know, like the Ace of Wands is like, ooh, I'm starting this contract. It's like I'm going to be a star. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to get to share my creative vision and my artistry and that expressive quality of myself. You know, it's things are manifesting, things are happening. But like the Ace is just beginning. It's not like, you know, a 10 or a king. You know, it's like just giving them a little bit of a spark. And shining up it's like you're being thrown bones, not like in a good way, but you're just given a little bit to placate you and make you think like you won the lottery. But in reality, it's so far from the truth. And it's just all based on lies, is what I heard. Okay, so that's like the label. I want to hear about like what's going on with Fred and his lawsuit. Is it going to be, I'm going to do Fred and UMG and the energy in between and see if we can figure out what's going to go. Well, I want to look at Lenormand for like what's going to happen, but I don't know. I'm interested to look at Fred Durst's chart, his astrology chart. Like there seems to be, like, don't you think this has happened to a lot of artists? But like he's actually questioning it now and had the gumption to bring this suit forward. Like, why is this happening now? Don't you think people have done this before? I don't know why I wanted to cut it like that. Weird. Okay. Fred is the 10 of Wands reversed. Release of burdens. Ooh, the 2 of Cups is UMG reversed. They are not in a healthy partnership. They want to cut ties and leave. That's what I just heard. The King of Wands is in between. The King of Wands is like the king of all the kings. This could be like the CEO of UMG. Sometimes I feel like the King of Wands is even more powerful than the Emperor. Do you ever feel that way? Or at least like within his field, he has a lot of influence. And all these little like pipes and like gadgets flowing in and out makes me think of like the ways that they funnel money. I feel like behind the scenes, they are trying to figure out a scheme, and they're probably doing some extreme accounting of like what is like, oh quick, let's fix the books. Oh, but you know, the federal, this could go to federal government, for whatever that is. I don't know what that could be. Federal something. If they're like really taking money from people, like it's one thing to sign somebody to a contract that's like, this is how much money you get, this is what you get, and we know that contracts are just stupid and dumb, and they have always taken advantage of people, and they particularly take advantage of women and women of color. Like it is terrible to think about like the contracts that like TLC got, and like En Vogue, and they just were, Tony Braxton, I'm getting like shivers and like goosebumps of like disgust. So they've always had bad contracts. That's one thing. It's another thing to lie behind the scenes and say, we advanced you money to start your career, but never actually put that number down. And then never actually took careful accounting of how much money Tony Braxton or Fred Durst, whatever, actually brought in via record sales, now via streams, YouTube ad revenue. Do radio stations pay like the writer and like the producer and stuff like that? Like, where however royalties work, I don't know if radio is part of that, but there has to be some sort of licensing. I don't really know. In any case, I feel like this is separate. All I'm saying is like this level of counting is like fraudulent. The Fool reversed, King of Pentacles, and Temperance. Oh my god, I'm getting like chills. This Knight of Pentacles, I see like is gonna get down and dirty about finding this money. I feel like it's somebody on the other side. I just heard accountant extraordinaire, and a very aggressive one, Knight of Pentacles. The Universal Music Group might suddenly come up with some sort of money. They might try to cook the books and be like, you're right, we are sorry, we will pay a $200 million fee. Remember that the CEO made $128 million in 2023 alone? So for them to pay $20 million of a fee or like a fine for like doing bad accounting or like to pay for a lawsuit, they can do that. I think that they might try to buy some time and try to make things right on their end, but I feel like it's not going to move forward very well. It's like the end is nigh. 10 of Cups, 7 of Wands, 7 of Cups. One of those YouTube comments on like something I saw about this case was kind of going over like what could happen to, like, at some point record labels are going to have to restructure, and they might at some point just like shutter, and the rights get like sold. And for some reason the 7 of Cups is really making me think that like there might be 3 avenues through which artists who have been signed up to them to this point get handled or like pushed off upon, or like 3 divisions. There might be some sort of restructuring within record labels, or maybe it's specific to Universal Music Group, but I feel like whatever happens to them is going to start to become industry standard. Although maybe there might be an exception. I just saw like Ford in my mind, because like Ford, I don't know. Yeah, that Ford was a little different in the like bailout of the car companies in whatever, the recession. Okay. The 7 of Wands, there is going to be some sort of fight. But I just heard not for who you think. So maybe this is a fight for the artist, or like the artist will be fighting on their behalf. And the 10 of Cups means that there could be some sort of good outcome for this. The first cards that I pulled, I had 10 of Wands reversed for Fred Durst. He is trying to figure this out and get out from under financial burden. The burden of like waiting around forever for what he thought was going to be his, and then he feels bound to this like deal that isn't really materializing, that's different from the contract, like I talked about. And UMG was the 2 of Cups reversed, so they are not happy about the relationship with their artists, and they are not happy with Fred Durst at all. But the thing that, and that makes sense, but the thing that I'm wondering is like this King of Wands, I'm getting some mixed energy about. I do feel like it is somebody on the UMG side. So I just want to see with here is like, where is UMG coming from? And then at the end I want to do some, so they're the 4 of Water, Mint, and the Warrior of Earth, Yucca, and the Mother of Earth, reverse, Chrysote Bush. Universal Music Group is trying to create of this product, the records, the bands, they're like in creation of this, but behind the scenes they are like, it's not money laundering, but it's like they are so very much diverting funds. Artists get one tiny little bit and they get a whole ton. And this has always been known, this is not new, but it's coming to be threatened. Their UMG is going to say, we have created so much, we have helped you a whole bunch, but in reality they're basically only giving them a fourth of what they deserve. Okay, as I heard to say cut, and then the artist side. oops, I cut, but or 8 of air, reversed, 8 of water, reversed, and the star caught and went, ooh, the star, again. So I was thinking this level is about the artists. The 8 of air, reversed, the Grish. They want to go through to something new. They want to put this chapter of music history, of business, of capitalism, of exploitation behind them, of pain and of suffering, a lot of discomfort they're feeling. This is like artists as a whole. Like I'm seeing Prince, Michael Jackson, just Mariah Carey. I'm just seeing like people being taken advantage of by their labels to such a huge degree in all aspects. We are in this like dismantling of like power dynamics that like famous and rich and celebrity type people have, and we're kind of taking that down. And like, why do we worship celebrities? And like a lot of masks have been taken off, and I think that's wonderful. You know, there's definitely some good to be had there, but the star is not about like what we think of as a star, like a celebrity, but it's like people who become famous or have like a record deal. I'm seeing the 6 of Cups in my mind, and in relation to this, and how it's like there is this sense with the star of like you, the artists, the group, whatever, at that time and place are like a channel between heaven and earth. There is some sort of transpersonal channeling that comes through musical groups and artists, and like that's more of like the positive aspect of celebrity. It's like a marker of time and space and like what messages are delivered to humanity, and you can hear that so much through music. Like I love to listen to music. Popular music to me is not like pop only. It just is music that's on the radio, or like music that has a music video, or music in, you know, on collective whatever. So just anything you can like have ever heard on a radio to me is like popular music, pop music. It's not like music from a band that like is in Toledo, Ohio in 1980. Like I don't know about them. This isn't like indie underground music. This is like for a greater purpose. There is this aspect for if like you're reaching this level of collectiveness, like it's okay to channel messages through you. Yeah, it's just like a double meaning to the word star. It's like we associate stars and celebrities, but there's just like this channeling that happens, and it's not like it needs to be protected. It's that it has been, well, I mean, it could be if it's like kids thinking of like the 6 of Cups, but it's like the powers that be of these record companies have taken advantage of that and have used these people like Michael Jackson as a kid, you know, like use them for money making. They're like playing on people's heartstrings and like exploiting the talents that they have to offer. If celebrities, musicians were treated more humanely by record companies, including getting compensated for what they're worth, it wouldn't be so detrimental to be famous, and we as a collective wouldn't have such problems with like how we kind of shadow worship celebrities or like shadow hate celebrities or whatever. Okay, I just went on a big tangent about that, but it needed to come through. Yeah, it's just a matter of exploitation instead of celebrating. Think of like celebrity and celebrate. It's almost like celebrities should help us celebrate, and there's nothing wrong with like wanting to shine and like be a performer, and like that's part of who they are, and I think that's like wonderful, and people should have the chance to do that, to have their channeling between heaven and earth be seen or supported, you know, but it's the being taken advantage of by the artists. So I thought that I would get more details about like this lawsuit and what's going to happen to Fred Durst and whatever, but This is what really wanted to come through, which is funny, because I was so sure I was going to get super detailed information about the lawsuit, which is exactly why I use the Housewife's Tarot, because usually that's what happens, but whatever. Okay, I'm going to do some of these. 30, the Scientist. I will share my creativity with the world. Preacher is my card of the day. Be open to other people. And the Bartender, I will give others support and listen with empathy. Okay, I'm hearing this is about the case. Scientist, I will share my creativity with the world. There is a level of exacting detail that is not happening with the accounting of like how much people owe, and I think that I'm gonna have to confirm with Lenormand, but what I'm kind of seeing intuitively is that UMG and other artists labels, it's kind of like at any moment you could be audited. I don't see that they will have to prove for every single artist they've ever worked with how much they are in their accounting, but they might have to at random. And so UMG is going to figure out how to cook the books if they have to. I don't really know. Create programs. I just heard something. Not like an app, but like they're going to do some sort of like mathing. Like what if you could like put all of your money, like there's some sort of accounting, some sort of valuation, some sort of great gross valuation of everything that they're going to have to do. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be 1,000 times better than what they have now. With the Preacher, I feel like they are going to ask for forgiveness. They are going to play into this idea of like, we are terrible record companies, our company is broken down, there's so many bad things happening, we lost accounting, we had, gross negligence. I feel like them kind of playing into like almost a victim mindset of like why they haven't been doing this. It's like the public already hates us. Legal entities, people we work with, artists, lawyers, the government, the IRS, they already know that we are evil. And so we're just going to be like, about it. Like they're going to kind of be whiny about it. I don't know why, but that's what's coming with this Preacher. Is like they're really going to ask for mercy. They think that they're going to ask for mercy. The Bartender, how does this fit in? I think the Bartender is, I just heard, we know your vice. So this is some sort of manipulation tactics that labels have done to, like, what they say about Bruno Mars, that like he owes so much money that like from his gambling debt, that like whatever. Does he work with Universal? Are him and Lady Gaga both with Universal? Oh geez, I'll have to look at that. Anyways, I just saw something about Bruno Mars, because like the drinks here are like, we'll keep you in your favorite drug, we'll keep you in your favorite vice, we will keep you shopping, Cardi B, we will hold you, I don't know what, they're like really using some sort of emotional safety manipulation tactics that's outside of the accounting, because when they're looking over here and they're like, but they're never gonna, legal entities are not gonna find out what we're doing. So this is kind of answering my question. I think, actually I'm gonna keep these here. I love layering my cards, I don't know why. I think that there will be some sort of justice. I don't know how the lawsuit's gonna go. They are scrambling, but They may have to restructure. Yeah, this is kind of complicated, but it's also kind of straightforward. I think the best bet is if it's some sort of fraud. It's like fraudulent. And, you know, Fred Durst, like I said, is going after them for copyright infringement. It's like, you are using my band to make yourselves money with my intellectual property. I don't really know how that's gonna go, but I don't know, he's kind of badass, I guess. Oh man, I just saw so many artists who were like popular like 20 years ago and how shitty they've been feeling about this, and they have such a high level of shame. Like I saw Kid Rock, and you know, Kid Rock might honestly be like a Republican. He might, you know, be a mega dude, but I also see him just so desperate for like money, because he was really popular at this time too. And it's like he somehow feels really embarrassed that he didn't get his money. Like he wouldn't go after them in a lawsuit because it's almost like his, not just him, he's like a representation of like all these other artists' self-worth. Like they have been demeaned in a certain regard. It's so funny to think that like musical artists are like being demeaned. But just think of it, like the head dude made what, $128 million just last year? We're like, that's crazy. That's 10 years to be a billionaire. No, that's less than that. Okay. Going somewhere, desires, commitment, arrival of some information, something new, unexpected. Grounding, a milestone, a place, being where you should be. Return on investment, financial abundance, being where you should be financially. Having a cut, communications, and the heart. Putting the pressure on and wanting them to stay connected to their commitment to their artists. I'll have to, it's a little clunky, I'll have to see what else comes up. Coming in, like a new message, new person, something unexpected coming in. This is the first card, new energy or event. So something may be coming, like a new event might come in. More people, a new person, new it's not information. So an event might happen. Like Diddy doing his thing, wasn't he a part of Universal? Like maybe something from there might be released. Like there's gonna be new information, not information, something, an event happened, person happened, and it's gonna be like plop, something new energy coming in. This is the center, is like Fred Durst wants to be where he should be financially. He's going to improve that his career has been a return on his investment. This is, Limp Bizkit is going on tour with Metallica, which is so funny. Don't you think Metallica would have hated Limp Bizkit at their time? But now they're like, yeah, let's tour together. Some bands just get like hate at the time. I think like Nickelback got a lot of hate. Metallica would not go on the tour with Nickelback, but maybe they would. Maybe it has to do with like income or something. I don't really know. Business is a funny thing. Anyways, I do feel like Fred Durst in some way, shape, or form is going to he is going to reach his milestones where he thought he would be. He's like, I thought I would have $10 million of royalties by now. And it's going to happen. Financial abundance, return on investment, and based on some new information coming in. I keep saying information. Technically, the writer shouldn't be information, but I keep saying it so many times that I'm going to keep it there. Having a cut, social media, chit-chat, rumors, Twitter, your heart's desires. I think this story might get more press there might be some momentum behind it. I feel like telling your story, like your true story, like not falling for those shame tactics, those things where like the record label makes you Kid Rock or whoever. Remember, this is all alleged for entertainment purposes only. Okay, it's just my opinion. I'm literally using Kid Rock as a metaphor. But imagine somebody like him, okay, not saying anything to do with him or anybody here. Imagine, or the record companies, imagine if the record company was like, we're gonna treat you like the biggest star, you're the biggest rock star, and whatever. And they do that to kind of keep them in this space where they can't say like, hey, I'm not being treated fairly. Hey, I didn't make enough money. Hey, I sold a bunch of albums, but now I'm broke. Like, it's like a control tactic, but once that comes out and people start talking about it, like literally could be on Twitter, could be on interviews. Like, I would love to see Fred Durst go on a media tour and just spill his guts about this and say, or his lawyer should go on Fox News and CNN and MNS, whatever, what is it called? NBC? They should go to People Magazine. They should go everywhere. They should have a media frenzy. They should make blind items. They should do everything. They should do ultimate PR and really be scathing and really appeal to people's emotions and say, hey, this is how Universal screwed me and other artists over. Like, look how much we made on their behalf. And they have the receipts. They have the freaking receipts. We asked them to tell us where we were in our account. They said, oh, we don't have that information, but we can promise you you're nowhere near. The second lawyer that asked them was like, oh, actually, it turns out you have $1 million we never gave you. Sorry. Like, that is so messed up. And the side here is like, there's some serious energy behind this. They should honestly ride the coattails of all the Sean Combs allegations. Anything you could do, because think about it, Universal Music Group, Universal, isn't that who Diddy is with? Could be wrong. But regardless, any big record label, it's going to be trending. Like, search results are going to push it. And especially when, like, some of the Sean Combs stuff gets old, or, like, suddenly they get into, like, court, and that takes, like, 1.5 years before he's on the stand. They need to, like, be very, like, sharp. This is, like, King of Swords, no, not King, like Knight of Swords, like very directed, and be like, get on, kind of like almost, I don't want to say a smear campaign, this is not a smear campaign, but it's like an expose, but on a big level. Like, I feel like we're primed to hear this story. Yes, it's true that we are in this age of understanding that, like, people are not who they say they are. Like, Sean Combs. Like, people are been waiting for this story to come out, and all the people that he's hurt for, like, at least since 1990. You know, probably before then, the people before him that Clive Davis hurt. You know, all of that is true. Without a doubt, you know, these people, these businesses exploit people, and there's a lot of power play. But, like, there's something else here, and it's like, for the greed and the money. Like, sometimes I think, especially on, like, YouTube, like, I'm not, like, a satanic panic person. Like, I kind of hate satanic panic. But people get obsessed about the evil and, like, the abuse. And that's so true. People abuse people who are dirt poor. You don't have to be a billionaire or a millionaire or, like, a record producer to abuse people. That's absolutely, positively, 100% true. But when there is money involved, okay, let me say it like this. Exploiting people monetarily is also going to have a light shown on it. People are calling out Starbucks, and people are calling out Amazon, and there's, like, the Boeing strike and the longshoremen, and you know, big pharma and healthcare businesses, you know, like the healthcare company, Stewart Healthcare. Oh my God, I have to do a reading on that. It's like the greed and like things are need to be cleaned up behind it, but now is an excellent time to get this story out and to truly connect to how it makes artists feel. You know, I think that we are now able to talk about that sort of stuff. You don't have to be ashamed and pretend that, you know, you have to uphold the fact that you're still like a #1 celebrity, that you have a lot of money. Like you can say, you can be more vulnerable and real about that. And people have said that, but if you've noticed, a lot of those people have been women and even women of color. And people have not been ready to listen to them, which is sad. But people might, like, dude, Fred Durst, use your privilege and call out Universal Music Group. You know, don't leave it to like En Vogue or SWV, you know, like, yes, like they should 100% have their voice. I don't know if SWV had a bad record deal. I just love them and I feel like they're kind of grouped together with them. Okay, so that was my reading. I never know what is going to happen, what the energy is going to be. I feel like this is just getting started, and I think that there's going to be more things coming forward. So I'll keep an eye on it. And if there's anything that you want to hear about, business-wise, I don't know, greed-wise, let me know.